Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about body dysmorphic disorders, my experience with having body dysmorphic disorder in particular. I thought it was kind of important to bring up because I did cover Eugenia Cooney, her issues with her eating disorders. I thought it'd be kind of important to talk about kind of the male side of things, my experience with it. Don't think I've ever technically had an eating disorder, but I would say it's a body image disorder for sure.
For some reason, I'm here too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to deal with me, so I thought
True.
you could give your own input. So, yeah, I'd say, so basically the symptoms are I don't have a great sense of how I actually look like, and
You have no sense
yeah,
at all, actually.
yeah. How I perceive, like, how I look, highly depends on how I'm feeling. So if I'm in a really bad mood and then I, like, go to take a shower, take my shirt off, I think I look horrible, I look fat and skinny at the same time. But if I'm feeling good, have a lot of energy, I take my shirt off and I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I look jacked today. So, and it doesn't matter how lean I am, how, like, much fat I've gained, I can look any friggin' way. I feel the exact same way about myself. So,
And it can switch in like 2 seconds.
oh yeah, it can switch in like 2 seconds. If my mood just flips, like I'll go to the bathroom and then I'll look at myself and I'm like, oh shit, I'm fat, and then
Or just
something.
after eating.
Yeah, yeah. Eating can also affect it. So if like right after I eat, I'll like feel fat and then I'll look at myself and I think I'm fat, even though like I don't look any different. So that's the general like symptoms that I have, and I'd say the biggest problem is, like I said, I feel exactly the same way no matter how lean I am. So, like when I was training for the bodybuilding show, the last one I was in, like 5, 6 years ago now, I got super, super goddamn lean. I was so lean it was unhealthy. I was just sickly shredded, and I feel the same way I do now. Like I thought I was like kind of chubby and I still needed to lose weight.
When we just got to know each other in like 2015, you were extremely skinny and it was like unhealthy. You could start to see your skull.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I could tell you were just not eating enough, and the amount that you were exercising was just obsessive.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I don't have a good sense of how I look like. So when I think I'm like not lean enough, I'll still think the same way, like, oh, I still need to lose weight, oh, I still need to lose weight, and then it will get to like ridiculous extreme levels where I'll just get insanely lean, and
like you were eating a
yeah.
lot of calories, but just the amount you were exercising, it was just not keeping up.
That's
really crazy.
Yeah. At one point, I was doing like 3 hours of cycling per day, and on top of like maybe 2 or 3 sessions of weight training per week. And I was eating like 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, but doing that much cycling, and it was really high intensity cycling too for that duration. It still wasn't enough to like keep my body weight up, so I just ended up getting really, really, really goddamn skinny. And also just like the change in focus, I kind of got kind of sick of weight training too, and then I was just focusing on cycling, so that's why I kind of got a bit smaller, but still, like, I had that weird mindset where I was like, I'm still not quite lean enough, I gotta exercise more. Still kind of not lean enough, gotta exercise more.
And you wouldn't fucking show yourself to me for like a year.
Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't show me any photos. You wouldn't show me yourself on webcam when we were Skype calling.
This was when we were still, like, dating online.
God.
Yeah, it was really weird.
You were so paranoid about me thinking you'd look too fat or something and not liking you because of that. It was so strange.
Yeah, and this issue definitely started when I was a kid, and I'll blame this entirely on my mom.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's her fault.
It's definitely her fault.
She was an extremely image-obsessed person. She'd always tell me that I have to look lean to get girls. Really fucked up shit that a mother shouldn't say to her kid. But yeah, like if she ever wanted to insult me, she'd like say, you're fat. Or if she didn't want me to eat something, she'd say, you're gonna get fucking fat if you eat that. And
Well, and while you were training, she was insane too. Ever since you were little.
Yeah, ever since I was a really small child, I literally cannot remember a time ever in my life where I wasn't concerned with how I looked. I just can't remember a time. Like, I know kids, I know some people who've had issues with obesity when they were younger. They'd say that just how they looked never really came to them.
I was a fat kid and I had no idea.
Yeah, it never really came to them.
My parents didn't body shame me.
Yeah, it's usually like not until maybe you're in your teens where you start thinking about this sort of stuff, when you start like dating and shit, but I started thinking about it when I was really, really young. I was very conscious of like, love handles, any extra fat on my body. Yeah, and it's like impacted my life pretty significantly.
It takes away almost all your happiness.
Yeah, it gets me in a really bad mood a lot of the time.
Especially that you're dieting.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I started dieting recently, and so far I've lost like 15 pounds pretty quickly. I think it's only been 3 weeks I've lost 15 pounds.
Yeah, you're going for it.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's probably not the greatest. Like, I should really be losing maybe like 3 pounds a week, but I push it to like 5, and it's the body image thing. So yeah, like I've never had any issues with, the A word. I can't say, it starts with Anna and then ends in Rexia. YouTube's friggin' bot. Yeah.
Just bleep it out.
Yeah, just bleep it out. But yeah, I've never had any issues with totally starving myself because I've always had a good sense of what you're supposed to eat to diet, how much you should eat when you're dieting. So I've never gotten to the point where I just like don't eat at all because then I know.
You say you don't want to eat, but you force yourself to eat eventually.
Yeah, so I do get moods where I don't want to eat because I know if I do eat afterwards, I'll like feel like I'm fat and I ate too much.
Like,
no matter
how often do I have to force you to eat? Like at least once a day.
I wouldn't say you force me to eat. You just make me do it sooner than I would otherwise.
You literally don't eat unless I make you.
No, not really.
Yeah, either you don't want to or you forget. Like often, and I don't say anything. You'll eat once a day.
Like sometimes I'll just forget to eat if I get so wrapped up in work, but I wouldn't.
Always?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's part of the body image disorder I have, body dysmorphic disorder. I'd say it's like when that happens, it's more because I get wrapped up in work, but. I do get a feeling where I just don't want food because I know after I eat it, I'll just feel like fat and I'll feel like crap. But I just end up forcing myself to eat because I know if I don't eat, I'll lose muscle and then probably feel like worse later on.
Yeah, when you grow muscle, you're like, ew, look at me, I'm fat. And
yeah, that too.
You're literally just growing muscle, like you're not fat.
I've put on a lot of muscle lately, even while dieting, and even then, when I put on muscle and I just look bigger in the mirror, I still feel like, oh, crap, did I gain weight? Even though it's, like, impossible, so...
And we have fights a lot that you just, like... Right now, I want him to take a break off of dieting because he keeps getting lightheaded and almost passing out and he can't work and he's not motivated.
Yeah.
And, it's important to keep going because we do YouTube as a living. You can't just take fucking 2-week breaks all the time.
Yeah.
And we constantly fight about you taking a week off just maintaining weight because you want to keep dieting, and then you always say you want to be shredded, and then, once you're shredded, it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it's going to be, and you know it.
Yeah, so, and I know I've focused on being fat a lot. It does affect how I perceive my muscle mass. Sometimes I think I look insanely skinny. And again, that can be when I just get in bad moods, but, and then other times when I'm in a good mood, I think I look, like, really big and muscular.
When you're in a really good mood, you have a better way of judging yourself.
You mean a more accurate way?
Yeah.
Too? Yeah.
It's definitely mood related.
Yeah, like, and again...
Or when you're stressed.
Yeah. And, again, like, I know I focused on being fat a lot, like, muscle matters, like, having a lot of muscle matters to me as well. But just because of what my mom has said to me when I was really small.
She always called you fat.
Yeah, she always called me fat, and then... I played hockey, like, I was really into hockey, and, during that time when I was a kid, I was, I had a lean athletic body, but then when I had to stop playing hockey because of my knee problems, I ended up gaining weight, and then my mom started calling me fat again, and then other kids started calling me fat, and then yeah, like that kind of matters a bit more to me than being like super muscular, but just because of like, you know, childhood trauma, I guess. But yeah, the muscular thing also matters quite a bit too. But the fat kind of gets me a little more. I'm a little more sensitive to that sort of thing.
Yeah, it really triggers you.
Yeah, so.
Especially when, like, you ask me how you look or what I think, and when you ask me if you're fat, I'll say, no, you're not fat, and I'll be like, you're not shredded, but you're lean.
Yeah.
And then he'll get upset at me for saying he's lean and not shredded, because then he thinks that means he's fat.
Yeah, so...
You need therapy.
I do. I really do need therapy. I've had therapy for my anger issues, and that was pretty effective. I'd like to get some therapy for, you know, this issue.
You definitely need it. I don't know how to deal with it at all.
I don't know.
Like, nothing I say or do, like, it helps you a little, but it doesn't get rid of your problem.
Yeah, I mean, so far the only thing that's actually helped is just talking about it with Jasmine. And
you used to really not want to either.
Yeah, like, she kind of keeps me under control, where if I kind of go too far, like, just push myself way too hard.
Right now I'm forcing him to eat more.
Yeah, so...
The fire we had yesterday.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that's kind of helped. Just Jasmine kind of keeping me on track, where I don't just like hurt myself, burn myself out. But I have no idea how to.
Rapid doing stuff. Yeah. Just a second.
I have no idea how to really deal with this problem, and like the only thing that's kind of helped is just talking about it, but actually solving it. I don't know. I really have no idea how to
Yeah, I think you're going to need therapy for it, but it's also going to take a while because, like, 3 years ago, you would not talk about this at all.
Yeah.
And you just either binge really hard or just start starving yourself pretty much.
Yeah.
Or, like, diet hardcore and lose, like, 20 pounds a month like you were doing now pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, you can't function like that for very long.
Yeah, so...
Like, 3 weeks is pretty much the max that you can do that with what you do, at least. Like, you have to do YouTube videos, you do your coaching, you do, like, 2-hour training sessions every day, and then that's without cardio.
Yeah.
And then, you know, day's over, you're barely eating, you're barely sleeping.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's an ongoing issue. I'm trying to kind of get better with it, but I just thought it was important to talk about because...
It's a problem.
I'm sure there are other dudes who are on YouTube, on YouTube Fitness, who,
a lot of fitness,
who deal with this.
Or fitness, like, figures have that problem, I think.
Yeah, like, I mean...
I have a hair on my nose.
Like, I can't be the only one on YouTube Fitness who kind of deals with this issue, and I've kind of seen signs of other guys, like, especially people who take steroids. I mean, like... They have to have some sort of weird insecurity issue if they're on gear, probably. Yeah. But, yeah, I just thought it was important to talk about because it's not really being talked about much. I know, like, lately with Eugenia Cooney, you know, like, kind of the more female side of things with that type of eating disorder. It's being talked a lot, but not too much on body dysmorphic disorder. And I have mentioned this a fair bit in some of my live streams when people ask, but... Never made a dedicated video about it, so I just thought I'd kind of share this. Yeah, but... Yeah.
I guess we'll have to get therapy at some point.
Yeah, and...
If it doesn't get better. I mean, it's not something that magically gets better.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll take a few years.
Well, look, this is crap that started in my childhood that was pretty damn traumatizing, especially since my parents were involved with this kind of crap, so...
At least you're talking about it now, because you used to be, like, that type of person that just would just eat your emotions pretty much, and now you come to me and talk about it, so I think that's a huge improvement at least.
Yeah, so I'm trying to improve, trying to get better, but I don't really, like, the path forward is kind of unclear, and especially for men.
I don't know either.
Yeah, especially for men with body dysmorphic disorder, like, some experts, like, in the eating disorder field don't even believe, like, it exists, which is messed up. Yeah. So... there's not too many resources I've found for help on this sort of thing, so I think it's especially important to talk about it because of that as well. So I'd also like to hear in the comments, like, have any of you dealt with this issue? Like, what helped? What makes it worse? I'd kind of like to know some other opinions. So yeah, but
and, get therapy if you need it, because it'll make you feel better in the long run.
yeah, I mean, therapy can help. It helped with my anger issues.
Well, if you can't solve it on your own, then it's better to try than not at all.
I have no idea how to solve this on my own, but I'm constantly trying to get better, improve. So
it's just not worth it, because it takes away so much happiness out of your daily life.
It really does.
Your quality of life could be so much better if you wouldn't have this problem anymore.
I'd love if I could just not worry about this anymore, but it's just so friggin' difficult to get over.
Like, you're more often than not in a bad mood just because of this issue.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dieting, then it's really bad.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say. Just leave, just tell me what you think about this in the comments, if you've ever experienced this sort of thing before, what's helped, what's made it worse, what caused it, and as always, keep making those vegan gains. Can you show your
gains?
I
have no gains because I don't work out.
Yeah, my arms are getting pretty jacked.
Yeah.